finding your perfect match can sometimes be tricky.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to knowing exactly what you want and what you like.
These are very important things in a relationship. So joining us to discuss the truth of finding your type is dating expert Alyssa Dineen. Hello.
Hi,
Good morning.
thanks for having me.
Welcome.
We have been talking about this since it was originally pitched, trying to figure out, like, do I have a type? Should I have a type? So first of all, is there such thing as having a type?
Yes, I would say almost everybody has a type, whether you're aware of it or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not necessarily always cognitively, it's kind of internalized.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And I say it's actually better to not have a type because I
Okay.
think it's actually very limiting.
Sure.
I would think so, because I have girlfriends who will say, I only want someone who's between 5'8" and 6'5",
Oh, you're doing
and
that, yeah.
dark
Oh, yeah.
hair, and I'm like, okay, well,
Yes.
when you find those 5 humans that span the globe, you give me a call. Let
No,
me
and
know.
even more so when they say they need to live within a few miles of me
Oh,
and
okay.
be over 6 feet and
Right.
make a certain amount of money. That's when you're really,
But you think-
really
Right.
narrowing in your choices.
I think over time, though, as people evolve as individuals, do their changes in their taste of type, does that evolve as well?
You would think so. And so my story is that I'm divorced, and so I married quite young. And when I got divorced at age 41, I realized that I did have a type.
That
and
you
I had
did?
Yeah, and I was really trying to steer away from that type, and so I forced myself to go out with a lot of different types of people, and it really helped me to guide me and find my perfect match.
Interesting. So what are some of the questions we should focus on when we're trying to get to know someone to determine if they fit our idea of a type?
Well, the most important and obvious one is whether you both want to have a long-term committed relationship and whether you want to start a family.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
big
a big,
one.
yeah. Imagine one
And then
wants to and the
also,
other doesn't.
something that people don't think about is also how you like to find support from one another. How you like to receive support and how you like to give support, and also how you argue or how do you disagree with each other.
Right.
And I think those are important because everybody has different styles.
Do you think people put physical traits and attraction first
Yes,
categorically,
and I think
and then they discover who the person actually is after that?
Yes, exactly, and I think that's why it's so limiting, because you put these physical or superficial traits above everything else, and then you tend to overlook a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
And a lot of really important qualities that are deep down what you really need. And what I say to my clients is the most important question you should be asking yourself is, how does this person make me feel
Right.
when I'm with them?
Right.
And that is huge.
I think, though, it is difficult to not focus on the physical attributes, because that's kind
First
of the
thing
first
you-
thing
Of course.
First
that
thing you
you
get,
see.
that your
Of
senses
course.
get.
So then at what point do you, because I'm also divorced, and I think I had a type. I picked the man who treated me the worst. That was my thing, and that was more about me.
But you hear a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
actually
it was more
happens.
about me. And then once I figured out, like, oh, you know what? I value myself, then I found the true love of my life. But
Yes.
I was first attracted to him. I was like, this guy's hot. It turned out that he was a wonderful human
But he was
being.
also a nice
Oh,
guy,
he was a
too.
nice
Imagine
guy.
that. He
He
put it
wasn't
all
gonna- He wasn't
together.
going to treat me like garbage.
There you go.
But
Amazing.
what do you say to folks who are like, yeah, but I am attracted to this man or this woman because they fit what I like in a physical
Physically.
attribute? Yeah.
Right. Well, and I think what you're ultimately going to find, down the road is whether they do treat you well or not. So you might be going based on those superficial qualities at first, but you will find out. And in your case, it worked out for you.
I mean, I got very lucky.
But what I say to people is that sometimes attraction comes after,
Right.
after the core friendship develops.
Right.
So, and I think that I've actually coached a lot of clients that have ended up with their perfect match because they did give that person a third or fourth chance that they weren't attracted to, but that came later.
Right.
Yeah, do you find that sometimes because of the type, you get caught up in the type, that they missed out maybe on their true love, and then retrospectively they go, he was or she was really nice. I think I blew that because I was so caught up in she didn't have this color hair or didn't live in this neighborhood, that kind of thing.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Talk to us about what it means, or what the potential is for boxing yourself into I want A, B, C, and D. What is the ultimate outcome of that?
Well, yeah, so I talked a lot in my book that I wrote called The Art of Online Dating about breaking down your boxes and really stepping back and examining what are the things that you've been going for in the past, whether it's in relationships or just people you went out on dates with, and really look back and see if there's a pattern, if there is your type, and really see if those things are actually important, and breaking down those boxes, and again, just asking yourself, How do I feel? Does this person make me feel amazing? Does this person make me feel insecure and full of doubt?
Right.
You know, there's a lot of questions you should be asking really yourself and how you feel, and not just, again, the superficial things.
Break down that cycle of getting caught in the superficial things.
Yeah,
And getting down
exactly.
to the soul, the heart of people.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, and I think people really doubt that the attraction can come later. But
Right.
it really does. It
Yeah.
can, and it does.
I started off with the neuroscientist being hot, and now I think he is even more wonderful because I've gotten to know him over the 2 years, and now I focus less on his hotness.
I was going to say, you go like, you're not so hot.
You know,
but, boy, I
until
love
you're
you.
not that
Brilliant.
good looking. Thank you so much. I'm
Alyssa,
sure
thanks so much.
we've just scratched the surface because new
yeah.
relationships
Yeah.
blossom every day.
Every day.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Best of luck with everybody. Hopefully they get these tips and they move forward with them.
Yeah.
Right? All right, we're going to post all of these tips on our website at pix11.com.